you want to start with Rhett and how he's going in that situation?
Oh yeah, look, obviously it's a tragedy. It's come as quite a shock for Rhett and Cameron, his sister, and the Burden family as well that are involved. So yeah, dealing with grief at the moment, supporting him as much as we can as a club, and his family is the priority, and that's what we're dealing with at the moment.
Does it just take as long as it takes? And what's the club's view?
Yeah, it is. I mean, well, I suppose before I answer that, it's just really important. We're always under scrutiny as players and as a club, and the industry is quite public. If I could just ask to give him a bit of space from a media point of view, and knocking on his door, calling him at the moment is probably not the right thing to be doing in this situation. So I know you've got jobs to do and really respect that, but he's a 19-year-old boy. He's lost his mum, so we can give him some space, and he'll talk when the time's right. But to answer your question, yeah, we'll give him as much time as he needs with his family, and football's not the priority right now for him.
How's the club going, Adam? What's it been like to push through and continue working and
it's
training?
A fine line. Yeah, because of the tragic nature and the shock, the Monday was difficult, so we had to adjust that and provide a little bit of support for the players as well as our staff. So we got through the day, just pulled back a few things and got them out there a bit earlier. But we'll play a bit of a scratch match today, and we'll keep moving forward. But understand that the sensitivity around it all is with our players as well and his mates.
Your pre-season as a whole, as we get closer to practice games, are you getting everything you need out of the players, getting them fit and strong?
Yeah, we just want to get better. And it is a new era coming. So, with the unity of the group, it continues to shine from dealing with the adversity last year. Health and fitness is priority, and they're probably as fit as I've seen them. So that's a big tick for us, and now it's overlaying some football.
What's been their attitude to the pre-season towards getting fitter after what happened last year?
Well, I've said this a few times, because getting healthy is the priority, and we're still working on that, and we've got a different type of group, I suppose. We're quite young, and we're quite elderly, experienced, and whatever you want to call it. So managing that and getting everyone back to full health and fitness was the priority post-season, and for the large part we've done that. And then overlaying some youth into the side, and like I said, it is a bit of a new era coming up. So that's been a work in progress, and then getting a style of play which will be new as well.
Might be jumping forward a little bit here, but how are you sort of thinking about that balance of youth and seniority when it comes to round one and balancing that?
Oh, we sort of went through it a few years ago, I think, with some of the kids coming through and promoting the youth in, I was 18, maybe 17, where we, the Drew Petrie's and Sam Mitchell's sort of moved on, and we promoted the Liam Ryan's, Willie Rioli type players and Venables. So I feel like that's going to repeat itself with some of our younger players, giving them opportunity, but also, deserving opportunity as well. So getting that balance is important, but yeah, there's definitely some options there.
Now you've seen a little bit of them. How AFL ready do you feel some of your first year players and Campbell hasn't had a chance to?
Yeah, look, it's a bit early. So I think we've managed them reasonably well with trying to prevent them from getting injured. So yeah, we're still building in that sense. It's probably more, just as much the guys have been around for a couple of years, seeing what they've got, as well as the first years as well. And then of course there's the Sheed and Oscar Allen and Nat Nui and these guys, McGovern, who didn't play last year, so that'll overlay the youth.
I've heard a little bit about guys being tried in different positions. For you, is it experimentation, or is talk of like Shuey going back? Is that all real?
Oh, it's real to a certain degree until it's not real. I think we'll work on. We thought Elliott coming back. Only played 4 or 5 games, but I think playing down back was really good for him to get back into the groove. So there's definitely potential with that. Finding where Ruben's going to play down the track, he can play in multiple positions. And Luke, we did play him half back for a few games last year as well. So just went unnoticed. I think it was a Gold Coast game, and no one reported on it, but it was pretty successful at the time, so we might look at it.
How's Elliot going? How's his body?
He's in a good block, yeah. Touch wood, we get through today. He hasn't missed a beat since Christmas, so it's been a slow build. Just like the guys who, I've said this before, the guys who have had long-term injuries, it's not going to be just come back and away we go. There's all different things pop up if you've missed a year, like Dom has, and Yo's played 10 or 15 games in 3 years. Even Gov missed a big chunk as well, so it won't be smooth sailing, but at the moment they're all in pretty good space.
There's a lot of excitement about Campbell Chesser, considering we didn't see him last year. He hasn't been in a lot of the main group stuff. How long do you see before he's sort of integrated into main group training full time?
Yeah, he's what I just mentioned, I should put him at the top. I think he played 5 games in his draft year, and then he played no games last year. So that's going to be a slower build. So just getting him on the track, feeling good about his body. He's naturally pretty fit. So, yeah, I think we'll start seeing some match play end of Feb, maybe. So get through a good training block. He's probably ready for that now, and then we'll see how we go.
This time last year, there was a bit of excitement about him possibly playing round 1. You just said he's a slower build. Do you foresee him being maybe available for round 1, or considering you said he only played 5 games in 2 years?
Yeah.
Do you maybe see him needing a month of senior footy in the Waffle before you sort of consider him?
Well, that's a challenge because the Waffle doesn't start till round 5 AFL. But no, I think that without putting any pressure on the kid, let's just see him train and see what he can bring. Hopefully get some pre-season games in, but it's not all about round 1, especially for someone like Chess who's still building from that injury he had. And this time last year we were pretty healthy. We had a pretty, I think probably today last year we lost about 6 players in one session. So deep breath at today, get through, and hopefully we can hit February with a healthy list.
How do you feel about your ruck stocks, Adam, with Nick's obviously leading the way, and then what is underneath him and how does that sit?
Yeah, well, there's Bailey, who got some great exposure last year, and same with Jamison. Like they both, probably a little bit underdone in terms of experience and capability last year. They would have learned a lot. So those two are fighting for the second ruck position. Jack Williams is a young 198 centimetre forward that can pinch hit as well. Gov keeps putting his hand up to do it. So we'll work through it, but it's obviously there's a lot riding on Nick and his availability. But we keep developing those young ruckmen. We drafted another ruck, Harry, who's unavailable at the moment. So he's coming back from an ankle sprain, hasn't really got going yet. So yeah, there's some work to do there.
Do you see Oscar doing any rucking this year, or is it now he's the JK replacement now and that's his spot?
Yeah, I don't think you'll see. He might ruck on the forward line. But no, we'll give him a good crack at as a permanent forward, see how he goes.
Replacing Junior in that forward line is going to be difficult. Who's sort of contending for that and leading the pack for that?
Yeah, well, that's a good question. Like once again, we drafted for that as well. But in the meantime, Jermaine Jones played back in last season. He might have to go forward and play in both positions. Petruccelli missed a lot of the season again last year. So I think I said this last time we spoke, because the team's going to look so much different than the last round. There's several players coming back from injury that we should see there that we didn't last.
Your pre-season fixtures looked at now. Is it nice to not have to play the Dockers every week?
Yeah, the way they're going. No, look, it's something I've done since I've been here, so we'll miss them. They beat us by 98 points last year in the pre-season game. So, no, it's actually good. I've ever come up with the ideas. It's a great thought, because I think next year we'll head over there for a week and play the 2 Adelaide sides, and that'll work really well for a couple of years, I would have thought. So, appreciate the fact that we can play different teams and have a different look at pre-season.
There's a chance you guys will line up against Junior in a very early contest. What do you think that's going to be like?
I think it'll be fine. Yeah, he's a premiership teammate to a lot of those guys. It was a challenging time when he left, but that's the industry.
Everyone this time of year always wants to talk about Nick Nat and how he's going. How is he doing?
He's going well. He hasn't missed a beat since he come back from. He had a knee operation at the end of the season, a very small one. So getting that rehab to the point where he'll play minutes today. I think he'll play 40, 50 minutes today. So, yep, getting his match fitness now, getting his leap back, getting his strength. That's the next phase.
How's Cole tracking? You saw him sort of tweak that ankle again.
Cole?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's very sensitive on it. So if he rolls it or lands on it, I think understandably it's a concern. So I think he got it trapped in a handball game. He's missed a couple of sessions, but we've got a 4-day break starting tomorrow. He'll be back into full training on Monday.
Do you already have a plan for how many minutes Nick will play during games?
No.
Too early?
No, it's too early, Duff. We'll see how we go. Yeah, I wouldn't have thought it's much different than the past.
What can we expect today, Adam? What sort of intensity do you want from the players, and what have you got lined up?
Look, I think every club, from what I'm hearing, is started match sim a lot earlier. So, yeah, we started on the 13th of January. So it's just an overlay every week now. You just keep building your match play up. I think every club would be doing the same thing. Yeah, good transition, good speed, play to your strengths, all that type of stuff.
Is there a reason for starting that match sim earlier?
It was just a strategy that we thought we'd do, but I think every club's, with pre-season being so short, you probably don't get the chance to overlay breakdown of all the style of play and drills. So some clubs have been doing it for years, but we started a bit earlier this year.
Just on Ruben, Gov said he blew him away with how...
In the time trial he did.
How have you seen Ruben? Is he ready for AFL action straight away? He's obviously a big unit.
We don't want to put too much pressure on the kid. He's physically, and he's in the top couple for speed and the top couple for endurance. So and he's 190 centimetres, but he's 18. So we won't put too much pressure on him. I probably just did, but he's got the capability of playing this year, that's for sure.
And just on Elliott, you mentioned, so you think he's going to play a fair bit down back this year and a bit in the middle, or is it he can do either and it's just a mix?
He can do either. It'll depend on availability and the strength of our side. So if we're full book, I think we've got great flexibility. We just haven't been full book for so long, so I'll wait until that happens.
You said it'll look different. Is it what you would have aimed for last year but couldn't get to because of all the disruptions?
I think so. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure, Duff, what last year would have given us if we had a clean bill of health coming into round one. But yeah, we've evolved a little bit with what we want to do and how we want to play. A little bit differently than last year, but not a lot. So we just didn't see any evidence on field or any real growth outside of some of the players getting some experience. So yeah, we'll wait until we get a few games under our belt to see how we're really going.